Love icons, greetings, love warriors. This is Pangea Northstar coming to you from my highest timeline. We have an amazing topic tonight, so let's get into it. I can't wait to discuss this with you guys. We've been doing a series called What is Toxic Femininity? Okay, and we've got Grayson in the chat already. Thank you, Grayson. Greetings. Thank you for saying hello as you come into the chat. You guys, tonight we are on part 3 of what is toxic femininity. If you have been following this series, then you already know that we're looking at toxic femininity with the energetic twist on it. You know, I love a good plot twist, right? So, what we're actually looking at, you guys, is the toxic lies that we've been told about what femininity is and the ways in which you can become toxic when you buy into these lies if you are either a woman or a man who is a nurturer, right? And we're being very specific in making sure that we include the ways men are affected as well, because we're always told that, you know, being feminine means being a nurturer, and being feminine is synonymous with being a woman, and that being a nurturer is synonymous with being feminine, and that, you know, women are the only nurturers, basically. And that is not true. That's absolutely not true. A balanced father, husband, big brother, you know, all of these roles are examples of a man being in a nurturing role, right? Those are nurturing roles. Those are roles within which men nurture. So we looked at that deeply last week. So if for any reason you missed that, be sure to go back and watch that after watching this video. You guys, we're going to get into this topic. Before we do go too far into the topic, I do want to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Pangea Northstar. I am an energetic healer. I am an attraction coach and a teacher. So I love talking about these topics every week. We're here live every Tuesday night at 6:30 p.m. Central. And I do some other videos occasionally. Okay. So Toxic Femininity Part 3. Tonight we are talking about toxic femininity from the perspective of the heart and throat chakra. The heart and throat chakra. Okay. Now, you guys, thank you for giving your greetings as you come into the room. Greetings, Zena Electra. So glad you could join us tonight. From the heart and throat chakra, you guys. Now, just the fact that we're talking about the heart means that this is a very deep subject, okay? And there's absolutely no way we can talk about all the ways in which the heart is involved tonight, because what I want you all to understand is that the heart chakra acts as a battery, a power source to all the other chakras, okay? So this is why we hear so much about the heart, all right? So in essence, the heart chakra energy is about love. It's about compassion, right? So this could be romantic love. This could be familial love. This could be friend love. You know, this can be just, you know, basic humanitarian love, right? But the heart chakra, love conquers all, right? Love conquers all. We've all heard that, right? But the heart chakra acts as a source of power for all the other chakras, right? All the other basic chakras. And it is located at a midway point between the other chakras, right? So your heart chakras here, you've got 3 above, throat, third eye, and crown, and then you got 3 below, solar plexus, sacral, and root, right? So your heart chakra plays a role with all the other energies, right? When you look at whether you're looking at toxic femininity or you're dealing with this with any other subject, right? So part of the way we're going to look at toxic femininity has to do with the heart. Let's talk about your ability to give and receive love, right? Your ability to give and receive love, right? So we talked previously about the sacral chakra. This was part two, Toxic Femininity part two, right? And when we talked about the sacral chakra, if you were a part of that conversation, give me some hearts in the chat, right? We talked about being able to draw boundaries, right? When we're talking about giving and receiving love, right? If you're just giving, 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 and you're giving from an empty cup, right? You're giving from an empty cup. That's not really giving from a place of love. That's giving from a place of neediness, right? If you're not able to draw a boundary with how you show your love, right? You're not really giving from a loving place. You're giving from a needy place, right? So that is an example of the connection between the heart chakra and the sacral, right? Because we said that heart chakra energy is involved with all the other chakras, right? Greetings, Dabney. Thank you for joining us tonight. So looking at that connection, you got, if you're giving from a needy place and not able to draw boundaries, you're really hoping to get something in return, and you're calling that love, right? That's the heart and sacral chakra connection. If you've known somebody like that or found yourself in a place like that, and you can admit that, give me some hearts in the chat, right? When you are, when you are giving, or when you are looking at your life and you're like, man, I really want to build a new life for myself, and I'm envisioning this new life for myself. You don't say, hey, I know I can do this with all of my third eye. You say, no, I know this in my heart, right? I know it in my heart. I know it's possible. I know it. I feel it. I know it in my heart. I know this with all of my heart, right? And I'm just showing you guys connections between the heart chakra and all these other chakras, right? So when we're talking about, let's do another one. Solar plexus, I believe and I know, I believe with all my soul. That's solar plexus. This is my passion in life. I just feel in my heart, this is what I'm supposed to do with my life. The energy, your personal power to do and to be, to discipline yourself and will yourself into doing something that has to do with your solar plexus chakra, right? When you are listening to someone, what do people say? Do we say, listen with your ears? We know you're listening with your ears, but when we really want you to open up to someone and you really want to hear your partner or whoever, you're in this deep conversation, what do we say? Listen with your heart. Listen with an open heart, right? I hope this is making sense for you guys. If so, give me some hearts in the chat, right? So tonight we're talking about toxic femininity, the lies that we've been told about what femininity is from a heart chakra perspective. And we're also going to get into the throat chakra perspective, okay? So again, the heart chakra energy is about love and compassion. But let's talk about the throat chakra energy, okay? Now, primarily with throat chakra, you hear about creative expression, right? Your creativity, okay? Now, your creativity is, and your expression is a very huge part of it. Expressing your emotions, the things you're passionate about, as well as, your creativity. People say, this is my passion. They're talking about something that they're creating, something that they're going to put out into the world, right? But I also want us to observe that the throat chakra also has to do with listening, okay? This is all one. It's also about listening, not just expressing yourself, but being receptive to other people's expression, right? Other people's expressions, okay? When you're, getting something off of your chest and getting something off of your heart, it can't just be all about your emotions and your feelings and your expression. You have to be open to hear other people's truth, their expression, their emotions as well. And when you have an energetic imbalance, a wound, you have unresolved trauma, right, in the area of the heart chakra, yes, that spills over into the throat chakra area because many times you're closed off to hearing someone else's expression of their emotions as well. Now, if you yourself has ever been guilty of this, or if you've known, you've known a woman, it could have been your mother, a friend, a partner, right, that just can't hear anybody else's emotions but their own. If you've known someone like this, give me some hearts in the chat. This is super duper common among women, okay? And ladies, I'm not, telling on us. I'm not picking on us. I want to show you how the lies that we've been told about femininity cause us to be closed off, okay? Cause us to be closed off, all right? We hear happy wife, happy life. Sometimes you hear jokingly, oh, I'm always right because I'm the woman. That's not cool. It's a sign of immaturity, right? Thank you for the hearts in the chat, right? This hits home, right? And this is very detrimental to any type of relationship. No one is always right. No one is always right. That's just not, it's not possible. Okay. I hate to be the one to break the news. It's just not possible, right? But for someone who is so closed off that you cannot hear or accept or conceive of or consider anyone else's expression of their emotionality but your own, that is a sign of both heart and throat chakra trauma, okay? Heart and throat chakra injury. I'm going to give you an example, okay? Now, there's a thing in society where, having emotions is supposed to be seen as a sign of weakness, right? Emotions are seen as secondary. Emotions are seen as something that you do not use to, make decisions. You're not supposed to incorporate your feelings in your decisions. If y'all have heard this, give me some hearts in the chat. When a man tries to express feelings, he's called weak. He's considered feminine. He's considered a bi. I'm not gonna say the word, but men are put down for expressing their emotions, right? And as women, and I'm gonna speak for myself as a woman, you guys, I was a kid in the 80s, okay? And I remember growing up as a little girl, my feelings, even if I just hurt myself, say I fell down and hurt myself, my feelings got attention. If I fell down and scraped my knee, it was, oh, did a baby. I got coddled. I got the attention I need. Yes, Zena says emotions only suit women. Yes, right? We're taught that, right? So as a little girl, if I hurt myself or if I was upset about something, my emotions got attention. But I also had a big brother. If my brother hurt himself, he would get punched in the chest and told, quit crying. You're not a girl. Men don't cry. You're supposed to protect your little sister. When dad is gone, you're the man of the house. Men from a very young age are not given room for their emotions. And as women, we're sitting there hearing that, right? How many of you guys heard that growing up, right? So if you're a little girl and you're right there hearing, you're watching the little boy being programmed to not have emotions, how in the world are you then supposed to grow up to be a woman that can hear men's emotions? Come on now. Y'all think about this. Think critically with me now. When are we taught to hear men's emotions? So men are not taught to express their emotions, and we're not taught to hear and recognize men's emotions. I totally grew up thinking men did not have real feelings. I was a full-grown adult, a full-grown woman, had been married and had children before I realized, oh my God, men's emotions are just as real and as deep as mine, as deep as my own. What a revelation, right? So, you guys, this is serious. This is a very serious problem in our society. Yes, Zena says same, right? Like, when did we get taught? When did we get taught this? This is a huge issue. How are we supposed to have healthy relationships with our partners, with our fathers, with our sons, with our brothers, if we cannot recognize anyone's emotions but our own? Okay. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't just stop there. It's not just about being able to recognize men's emotions, but a lot, a woman or any nurturer that has a heart chakra imbalance is not receptive to anybody's emotions other than their own. And guess what? It comes full circle. This is something that can flip on you, because there's a saying by Carl Jung that is very true. People can only engage you to the level at which they engage themselves. People can only engage with you at the level at which they engage themselves, right? So learning to recognize other people's emotions helps you to be able to recognize your own, right? Because if you were deeply engaging your own emotions, because as women, remember I started out saying, as women, we're also shamed for our own emotions. We do get more room to express them, but we're still shamed for our emotions and told that our emotions are just weakness, and it's the biggest thing that people use to dismiss us. They say, oh, you're just being emotional. You're a woman, right? That means you're emotional. You must be being hormonal, right? Greetings, Blue Lotus. Nice to see you in the chat. But our emotions are one of the number one things that people use is to dismiss us. Oh, you're not suitable for this position, right? We can't have a woman in the White House, for example. Oh, she's emotional. She's going to be too emotional, right? Yes, it always means you must be, on your cycle or something, right? But that teaches you to dismiss your own emotions. It teaches you that your emotions are invalid. So emotions are used against both men and women. We're taught that recognizing your emotions or acknowledging your emotions is a sign of weakness. Okay? So here on Attracting Love Energy, which is our Tuesday night live session, we're always talking about how to attract love energy into your life, right? You are not going to be attracting love energy into your life if your heart chakra is blocked, right? If you are not welcoming, if you are not receptive to your own emotions. It's not gonna happen for you. Okay? Our emotions are supposed to be alarms, alerts, pointers in the direction that you're supposed to go. It's supposed to alarm you and alert you when something is wrong, right? It is absolutely not something that you should ignore. We have some comments in the chat that I want to address. Elmira says our weakness is a strength. Exactly. It helps to better imagine. Yes. Emotions. Yes. She's laughing about at the comment about your emotions mean that you're getting your cycle. Yes. Right. It's just like, you know, learning how to acknowledge, how to interpret your emotions, right? Get to that next deeper level, right? For example, a lot of people, anger is your go-to emotion, right? Anger is a go-to emotion for a lot of people. Anger or defensiveness is a go-to emotion for a lot of people, right? But if you go a little deeper, if you are practiced at recognizing your emotions, you can see that when you're getting angry, sometimes you're really just scared, right? Sometimes a person could really be feeling threatened, could be feeling embarrassed. A person could be feeling neglected. There can be a myriad of different emotions behind anger, but anger can be an easy go-to emotion, right? Because then if you show other emotions as, oh, I'm being vulnerable, I'm being weak. If I just say I'm sad, or if I say I'm scared, if I say I feel neglected, if I say I'm lonely, right? Then those are the emotions that people say signal weakness, right? But anger or aggression, for whatever reason, is a little bit more socially acceptable. Check that out. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. Anger is so, you're right, Elmira, anger is so easy to access. And that is why, because it's a little bit more socially acceptable to say that really made me mad when my partner did this, rather than saying it made me feel lonely, it made me feel neglected, it made me feel like I'm in this alone, you know, it made me feel insecure. You hardly ever hear somebody say, oh, I feel insecure. This made me feel insecure about myself. It made me feel jealous. You don't hear it. Listen, how many all these other emotions, right, that we could be expressing and that we could be feeling, all these other emotions that are lying underneath the anger. But the anger it's the go-to, right? It's easy to reach for. It's easy to reach for because it doesn't say weak. In this world where we're told that you're either the prey or the predator, there's nothing in between. You're either the predator or the prey. You're either the oppressor or the oppressed, right? You want to reach for, it's so tempting to reach for that emotion that says, I am not the prey. The emotion that says, I am not the oppressed, right? Give me some hearts, somebody, if this is making sense to you. Give me some hearts in the chat, right? If you have ever felt this and found yourself showing anger when there was really something else under that, or you've known someone that always showed anger as an easy go-to emotion instead of showing their real emotions, give me some hearts, right? It's very, very easy to do that, okay? But when you understand, when you start to look deeper at your own emotions, then the next time someone shows you anger, then you can stop, you can pause and ask yourself, what's really going on here? Is this person actually feeling neglected? Are they actually feeling sad? Are they actually feeling lonely? Are they actually feeling jealous? Are they actually feeling insecure? Is this really anger that I'm seeing? What is this anger about? Okay. I see a question. Can you speak to the difference between feelings and emotions? Okay. Yes. Let's do that. Feelings and emotions. So I'm gonna give my interpretation on this. Blue Lotus, if you want to also kind of chime in and tell me, what do you perceive as the difference? Feelings and emotions. I'm going to start with emotions. Okay. Emotions are, and I'm going to pull a quote from Dr. Joe Dispenza. Emotions are energy in motion. Okay. Emotions are energy in motion. Okay. What are we talking about? Energy in motion. Energy in motion. The energy that we're talking about is the energy in each chakra. Your chakras are energy centers in your body, right? What we're always talking about. Today, we're talking about the heart chakra and the throat chakra, okay? When we're talking about the energy of those chakras, think about when something bad happens. I'll give you a quick example. Think right now, just for anyone who's not quite sure what I'm talking about energy centers. Think right now of a time when somebody said something to you and you wanted to speak, you wanted to say something back, you wanted to snap back at this person, right? But you held your tongue. Think about an incident where that happened. You didn't say, either you didn't say anything or you didn't say what you wanted to say, right? Think of that incident and tell me now, where do you feel that in your body? Where do you feel that? When you think of that incident, where do you feel it in your body? You most likely feel it in your throat. Okay? You may also feel it in your chest or your stomach, but the energy of holding your tongue, you're going to feel tenseness in your throat. Okay? That's trapped energy. Okay? Now, I'm reading the comments. I'm going to come back to this. Okay. So, Dabney says, as he thinks of this, he feels about it in his chest. Okay. Now, if you're feeling it in your chest, more than likely you said something. You let something out. You may not have said everything. If you're not the type of person to hold your tongue, that may be the reason you feel it in your chest, because it still hurts your feelings. Right? Like I was actually hurt that this person even came to me like this. Right? So what you're feeling is energy. Yes, Dabney says not what I wanted to. So you said something, but you didn't say what you wanted to say, right? So all the energy is not trapped in your throat, but it still hurts in your chest. There's energy trapped here. The feeling, the emotion of this is what we're talking about, energy in motion. And our goal is for our energy to be free flowing and to always be in motion, right? So we're always talking about on this channel energy blockages, which means energy got stuck somewhere. Somewhere you didn't let your energy flow, whether it was stuck in your throat because you didn't say what you needed to say, you didn't address the issue, you know, stuck in your heart. It was a heartbreaking situation, or just like, wow, you know, someone can break your heart in a love situation, or it can just be, hey, I'm a cool person. I don't know why people are coming at me. You know, that hurts. It hurts my feelings, right? So energy in motion, that's your emotions. That is what determines your frequency, right? Emotions. When we're always talking about vibes and frequency, what we're really talking about is emotions, right? Now, feelings, when I think of feelings, I think of motivation and decisions, right? I feel like, because I think about it makes me think about the interpretation of things that are coming at you, right? How you interpret things that come at you, you know? So your feelings about something, and feelings come and go. Your feelings about something, you can get a new piece of information and feel a little bit differently about a situation. I feel like such and such. I feel like this. I feel like that. Right? But the energy may still be trapped in your body. Okay? And our feelings change all the time. I may feel happy. I may feel sad. I may feel content. I may feel whatever. about a particular situation. The disappointment, you know, may change into, I'll settle, right? But the energy of that same situation long term can still affect you long term, because the next time you run into that same scenario, you may find yourself hesitant if you didn't clear that energy. Okay? I hope this is making sense for you, Blue Lotus. I hope this is giving you a little bit of clarity. Okay? We've got some people chiming in the chat. Dab said, I wanted to be petty and cruel and angry, but I was calm. I hurt my own feelings. Yes, I get that, right? So there's still energy trapped, because it's like, man, I didn't do what I want to do. I took the high road, because I felt like maybe, it wasn't worth saying what I could have said. I felt like I may do damage if I say what I want to say. I may cause the situation to become worse, either for the other person or for myself, right? But my feelings were still hurt, right? The trapped energy, the emotion was still there, but I felt like I decided not to speak on it. I decided to handle it this way, right? So there's a little more differentiation there between feelings and emotions. Amara said, just like physical pain explains high blood pressure and heart attack, etc. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Are feelings and emotions connected to mood? Absolutely. 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 Okay, let's go into that for a minute. We're almost out of time, guys, but I do want to talk about that, okay? Because, okay, earlier we were talking about emotions are energy in motion, right? So let's back up a little further than that. Your energy causes your mood, right? But what causes the energy, right? So energy can be another word for emotion, because we say energies are energy. Emotions are energy in motion, right? So emotions cause the mood, but what caused the emotion? Your thoughts. Our thoughts cause our emotions. Whatever we're thinking about is going to dictate our emotions, which dictates our mood, right? If somebody asks you to do them a favor, let's use this one, since we're talking about being able to give and receive today. That's heart chakra energy, being able to give and receive, right? Somebody asks you to do them a favor, to give them something. Can you let me borrow some money, right? And normally, it may not be a problem. You may be the type of person that, I don't have a problem with letting someone borrow money, or even giving someone some money that needs it, right? But this same person, the last time they asked you for some money, they didn't even say thank you. They didn't even bother to let you know they received that Cash App, right? And then you haven't even heard from them again since. That's what happened the last time you gave them money, right? Some of your hard-earned cash, right? That they didn't even respect you enough to pick up the phone and say, hey, I hate to ask you. I know you work hard for your money, but I'm in a jam, yada, yada. They didn't even explain. They just, text you like, hey, let me, can you Cash App me $100? Right? So last time you helped them out, you didn't hear from them anymore. And you have not heard from them since. You feel a little salty. You feel a little taken advantage of, right? And because your thoughts go there about what happened the last time, as soon as they send you the money, this time you don't feel like sending them money. You're not feeling generous, right? Your mood has now changed, right? Because now my day is a little altered. My mood is a little off, because it's like, man, here I've been reminded that this person who I care enough about to help, I care enough about them to help them when they need it, but they only see me as an ATM, right? This person sees me as an ATM. I see them as a human. they see me as a cash machine, right? And if you have a lot of unresolved trauma around that type of thing, you're the nurturer. You're always helping people out. Perhaps your mind starts to go back to other incidents where you've helped them, or other incidents where you've helped people, and they've done you the same way. They never make you feel appreciated. Then from there, your mind goes to, man, I never have the help when I need it. I help everybody. Nobody ever helps me. Man, I'm so alone in this world. You see the downward spiral? You see this depressed mood forming? Yes. Yes. Feelings and emotions are very connected to your moods because your feelings and emotions are dictated by the thoughts you allow yourself to think. So if you find something like that happening, you have to learn how to catch those thoughts and disengage from those thoughts. Okay? So if anyone else has another question, we can answer one more question really quickly. But I really want to take this moment to encourage everybody. You guys, listen. Between everything that's going on in the news headlines, right? And just where we are as we're coming into the age of Aquarius, guys, we cannot forget that this is a golden hour. This is a golden hour, you guys. This is a powerful time that we're in, right? It is super important. As this timeline split happens, we have to be intentional with where we allow our thoughts to rest, where we allow our energy to rest, right? Where we allow our attention to go. What you allow to grab your attention, to grab your emotions. You have to be intentional about that, right? And producing headlines every day that get you emotional, producing hard-hitting headlines every day that makes people feel angry or sad or hopeless or scared, that is a tactic that is meant to paralyze you. It is designed to make you feel helpless and paralyzed. It is designed to make you feel frozen. Okay? So I want to remind everyone to take breaks. Take breaks. Take breaks from the conversations about all the negativity. Don't allow people to just come to you, dumping all their hopelessness, their anxiety, their fears, their complaints about what's going on you. You don't have to allow people to come to your desk talking that mess. You don't have to allow people to call your phone or text you talking that mess. You can respond with, what's going right in your life? Tell me something's going right now. 1, 2, 3, what's going right? Like seriously, make a game out of it. Make people stop and realize that all they're talking about is the negativity. We have to be the ones to change that vibration because the fear, the anxiety, the helplessness, and the hopelessness is contagious. Okay? And we're living in a time where the veil is very thin. What do I mean by that? The things that we allow ourselves to think and to say and to feel is producing manifestations very quickly. Very quickly. Okay? So if you spend an hour with your thoughts and emotions on something negative, something that throws you into a bad mood, I want you to be very intentional about spending an hour thinking about positive things only. Be very intentional about canceling out negative thoughts and emotions. If you think you can do that, and you're going to give it a try, give me some hearts in the chat. Okay? We cannot allow our energy and our attention to be stolen by these horrible headlines. We can't allow our minds to become fixated on that. Okay? Does anybody have any questions before we end today? Any more questions? I really, you guys, while I'm waiting to see if anybody has any more questions, I really want you guys to be thinking on that. Okay? Be very intentional about reversing your thoughts and reversing your emotions, right? And by the same token, let me give you a second meaning of what I mean when I say the veil is very thin right now. Anything that you ask for, even if it's just like a deeper understanding of something that's going on, when you choose to go within, that's why I'm saying take breaks from the news, take breaks from the conversations, take breaks to go within. Ask for understanding, right? When you ask for understanding, you can get a deeper understanding right now, a deeper connection, deeper messaging and downloads from source than you've ever gotten in your life. Now is the time, because the energy is here to support these connections, okay? These connections to your higher self. All right. That's why it's a perfect time for us to be digging into toxic femininity, because when the women and the nurturers of the world claim their power, claim their healing, the whole world is able to change. The world is able to heal. Right? The oppressors of the world are just bullies. They're nothing but bullies on the playground, okay? The purveyors of toxic femininity, and I'm talking about those who lie to us about what femininity is, those who lie to us about the place in the world of all nurturers, that we as nurturers belong on the bottom, right? These are the bullies on the playground. And what happens when you stand up to a bully? Somebody tell me, what happens when you stand up to a bully? If you've ever stood up to a bully in your life, you know what happens? They crumble. They crumble. They STF you, right? They STF you, right? Bullies are just here to push around those who will not stand up for themselves. And the way that we stand up for ourselves is to dig into our healing. The way that we stand up for ourselves is to claim our power. Okay? The way that we stand up for ourselves is to live a joyful life, to reclaim our thoughts, to reclaim our passion, right? To fulfill our mission, our reason for being here. Okay? So thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I hope that part 3 of what is toxic femininity has been good for you. Thank y'all so much for tuning in for another night. We'll be back for another episode of Attract and Love Energy on next Tuesday night. Also, February 8th, I'm having a live Soundbath for women. The event is listed on Eventbrite. I'm going to add the link to the description box. February 8th. So you guys look out for that event on Eventbrite. And I am looking forward to seeing you all there. Peace and blessings. Have a good night. Thanks for all the participation in the chat. You guys make it beautiful. Good night.